Today we enter into Mary's third sorrow, the 3 days' loss of her son Jesus, when, at age 12, he stayed behind in the temple after his parents and the rest of the caravan had departed for Nazareth. We think first of the anguish of her mother's heart when they discovered that he was missing, the dread of what might have happened to her son, the loneliness without the light of her life close at hand. We think of her and Joseph anxiously, sleeplessly retracing their steps, searching everywhere for a sign of the beloved one. So many parents can relate to the anguish of this sorrow. For these 3 days, Mary lost her Lord. Like the beloved in the Song of Songs, she runs after him, seeking in vain in the darkness for the presence of the only one who can fill her heart's longing. But the presence of one who has vanished, has hidden his face from her. How familiar her experience is to our own as we walk the paths of the Christian prayer life. These days are a foretaste for her, a prophecy of another 3 days still to come, which will bring an even deeper darkness of loss to her heart. Here, in these 3 days in Jesus' 12th year, Mary learns the steadfast vigil which will sustain her on Calvary and in the upper room, as she awaits her son's return again. In these days of loss, capped and consummated by a joyful reunion in the temple, her spirit roots itself deeply in the hope which cannot believe that the darkness prevails, the hope that death is not the final word. These days are a glimpse of the Holy Saturday which awaits her. During these 3 days' loss, we also remember her first sorrow, Simeon's prophecy that surely came poignantly to mind once again for Mary, and Joseph, who also heard it as they searched. Is this it? Is this to be the moment when Jesus, barely come of age, will be summoned to his sufferings and his sorrows? Is this the cross, come so soon to call the Christ to his hour? Surely in these days Mary renewed her fiat, her wholehearted and unreserved surrender to God many times as she searched the streets of Jerusalem. But no, the Christ was not to be quite yet. They would find the boy in the temple, and he would come to them to Nazareth once again. He would live with them and be obedient, as the scripture says, for many years. Yet something does change in these 3 days of searching and surrender to the Father's mysterious plan. The boy Jesus has fixed his eyes more consciously, more resolutely on his Father's work, and Mary's eyes and her heart follow her son's. Whether in darkness or in light, the two of them are ready to ride the growing tide which will bear them toward Calvary. Are we ready to follow them? Are we ready to plunge into the darkness of faith, of hope, when all else seems lost? Are we ready to follow the presence of God which has hidden himself? This Lent, as we continue our journey with Jesus, the Lord can seem far away as we plunge into this desert of darkness. Let us renew our resolve. Let us renew our fiat with Mary and give our whole heart, our whole lives to him in trust, in hope, and in faith that the darkness does not have the final word.